He was the monster that lurked in the shadows, a phantom that haunted America's heartland. Israel Keyes, a name whispered with chills down the spine, was a serial killer whose cruelty knew no bounds. His crime sent shockwaves across the nation, painting a chilling portrait of a man consumed by darkness. Keyes was a master manipulator, a chameleon who blended seamlessly into society, leaving no trace of the evil that festered within. Keyes' story is not just a tale of horrifying crimes, but a chilling reminder of the darkness that can reside in seemingly ordinary individuals. He was a man who walked among us, a wolf in sheep's clothing, his true nature masked by an unassuming facade. His ability to compartmentalize his life, separating his public persona from his sinister desires, made him all the more terrifying. Keyes was a predator who stalked his victims with meticulous precision, leaving behind a trail of devastation and despair. The story of Israel Keyes is a descent into the abyss of the human psyche, a journey into the heart of darkness. It is a stark reminder that monsters do not always lurk in the shadows. Sometimes they walk among us, hiding in plain sight. His crime shocked a nation, forcing us to confront the terrifying reality that evil can wear a familiar face. Keyes' life and crime serve as a chilling testament to the depths of human depravity, leaving an indelible mark on the annals of criminal history. Israel Keyes' journey into darkness began in a childhood shrouded in shadow. Born into a strict and isolated family in Utah, Keyes experienced a level of detachment that would forever shape his worldview. His parents, devoutly religious and fiercely independent, instilled in him a sense of alienation from mainstream society. Keyes' early years were marked by a lack of social interaction, fostering a sense of loneliness and isolation that would fester within him. The family's nomadic lifestyle, drifting from one remote location to another, further exacerbated Keyes' sense of displacement. He was denied the stability and normalcy of a conventional childhood, deprived of the opportunity to form meaningful connections with others. This social isolation deepened his detachment, cultivating a sense of otherness that would define his interactions with the world. Keyes' upbringing was a breeding ground for resentment and anger, emotions that would later fuel his dark desires. The rigid religious doctrines imposed upon him further contributed to his alienation. The fire and brimstone sermons, emphasizing sin and damnation, instilled in him a distorted sense of morality. Keyes' childhood was marked by a constant struggle between the strictures of his upbringing and the burgeoning darkness within. The seeds of his future atrocities were sown in the desolate landscape of his youth, where isolation and anger took root in the fertile soil of a troubled mind. Keyes' descent into darkness accelerated during his time in the Army. While the military provided structure and discipline, it also exposed him to violence and the fragility of human life. The skills he acquired, particularly in survival and evasion, would later become tools of his deadly trade. The Army, rather than instilling a sense of camaraderie and purpose, served as a training ground for his burgeoning criminal tendencies. His discharge from the Army marked a turning point in Keyes' life, pushing him further down the path of no return. He drifted from one dead-end job to another, his resentment towards society growing with each passing day. Keyes' inability to find his place in the world fueled his anger, transforming him into a ticking time bomb waiting to explode. His experiences in the military had stripped him of any lingering inhibitions, replacing them with a callous disregard for human life. Keyes' transformation from soldier to predator was a gradual process, a slow poisoning of the soul. The darkness that had simmered within him during his childhood now boiled over, consuming his humanity and leaving behind a shell of a man driven by primal urges. The structure and discipline of the Army, once a potential source of redemption, had become twisted into tools of his burgeoning criminal enterprise. Keyes was now a predator unleashed, ready to stalk his prey and leave a trail of devastation in his wake. Alaska, with its vast wilderness and isolated communities, became the hunting ground for Keyes' dark fantasies. He settled in Sterling, a small town nestled amidst the rugged Alaskan landscape, where he crafted a facade of normalcy. He ran a successful construction business, blending seamlessly into the community and earning the trust of his neighbors. Keyes' ability to compartmentalize his life, separating his public persona from his sinister desires, allowed him to operate undetected for years. Beneath the surface of this seemingly ordinary life, Keyes nurtured a world of depravity. He meticulously planned his crimes, traveling across the country to select his victims and dispose of their remains. The vastness of Alaska provided him with the anonymity he craved, allowing him to carry out his atrocities with chilling efficiency. Keyes' life in Alaska was a chilling testament to his cunning and his ability to manipulate those around him. He was a master of deception, presenting a friendly face to the world while harboring a heart of darkness. Keyes' Alaskan nightmare was a sinister reflection of the state's duality, a place of stunning beauty and unforgiving wilderness, where darkness could thrive unchecked beneath the veil of normalcy. His crimes shattered the serenity of the Alaskan landscape, exposing the fragility of peace in a world where monsters could hide in plain sight. Israel Keyes' criminal methods were a chilling testament to his meticulous planning and depraved desires. He was a meticulous planner, eschewing random acts of violence for carefully orchestrated abductions and killings. Keyes' crimes were not impulsive acts of passion, but calculated displays of cruelty, designed to inflict maximum terror and suffering. He meticulously researched his targets, selecting victims based on their vulnerability and isolation, ensuring their disappearance would go unnoticed for as long as possible. Keyes' toolkit of terror was as meticulously curated as his plans. He stashed weapons, cash, and kill kits in hidden caches across the country, transforming the landscape into his personal hunting ground. These caches, stocked with tools of torture and disposal, served as grim reminders of Keyes' meticulous preparation and the darkness that consumed him. Each item in his toolbox of terror was a chilling testament to his depravity. Each tool, a symbol of his commitment to inflicting pain and suffering upon his victims. His methods were designed not only to end lives, but to shatter the lives of those left behind. Keyes' cruelty extended beyond the grave as he toyed with the families of his victims, sending cryptic messages and taunting them with the knowledge of their loved one's fate. His crimes were not merely acts of violence, they were acts of psychological warfare, designed to inflict lasting trauma and torment upon anyone who dared to cross his path. Comparisons between Israel Keyes and Ted Bundy, another notorious serial killer, are inevitable. Both men possessed an unsettling charisma that masked a deeply disturbed psyche. Like Bundy, Keyes was intelligent and articulate, able to blend into society and manipulate those around him. They shared a chilling ability to compartmentalize their lives, separating their public personas from their dark desires. Both men were masters of deception, presenting a veneer of normalcy while harboring a deep-seated hatred for humanity. Their criminal methods also bore striking similarities. Both Bundy and Keyes were meticulous planners, selecting their victims carefully and taking steps to avoid detection. They were both transient, traveling across state lines to hunt for victims and dispose of their remains, leaving a trail of devastation in their wake. The echoes of Bundy's crimes reverberated in Keyes' modus operandi, suggesting a shared understanding of the dark mechanics of serial killing. The similarities between Keyes and Bundy highlight a disturbing truth. Evil can wear many faces, and monsters often lurk in the most unexpected places. Their crimes serve as a stark reminder that appearances can be deceiving, and that the capacity for cruelty exists within the human heart, regardless of outward appearances. The chilling parallels between these two killers underscore the dark potential that resides within seemingly ordinary individuals, a potential that can erupt with terrifying consequences. Israel Keyes' crimes cast a long shadow over America, instilling a sense of fear that stretched from coast to coast. His modus operandi, characterized by meticulous planning and unpredictable movements, made him a phantom, a ghost in the machine of law enforcement. The randomness of his victim selection and the vast distances he covered created an aura of omnipresence, leaving communities across the nation feeling vulnerable and exposed. The knowledge that a predator of Keyes' caliber was operating undetected fueled a nationwide panic. The media, hungry for information, seized upon the story, disseminating details of his crimes and amplifying the sense of dread. Keyes' name became synonymous with terror, his crimes a chilling reminder of the vulnerability of ordinary life. The nation was gripped by a collective sense of unease, a feeling that nowhere was safe, and anyone could become the next victim. The fear generated by Keyes' crimes was not merely a product of his actions, but a reflection of the anxieties of a nation grappling with its own vulnerabilities. His ability to move undetected through society, to blend into the fabric of everyday life, exposed the cracks in the system, the flaws that allowed darkness to thrive unchecked. Keyes' reign of terror was a wake-up call, a stark reminder that evil could lurk in the shadows, waiting for the opportune moment to strike. The capture of Israel Keyes marked the end of his reign of terror, but it also opened a Pandora's box of horrors. His arrest in 2012 for the abduction and murder of Samantha Koenig in Alaska provided a long-awaited glimmer of hope for a nation held captive by fear. The apprehension of this elusive predator, however, was only the beginning of a long and arduous journey into the heart of darkness. Keyes, once apprehended, engaged in a cat-and-mouse game with authorities, revealing bits and pieces of his crimes while withholding crucial information. He confessed to several murders, but hinted at many more, leaving investigators to decipher his cryptic clues and piece together a fragmented puzzle of death. His confessions were not acts of remorse or attempts at redemption. They were calculated manipulations, designed to prolong his notoriety and control the narrative of his own depravity. Keyes' capture and subsequent confessions did little to soothe the collective anxiety of a nation scarred by his crimes. The revelation of the true extent of his depravity, the sheer volume of lives he had taken, only deepened the sense of unease. His ability to maintain his facade of normalcy while committing such heinous acts served as a chilling reminder of the duality of human nature, the darkness that can reside beneath the surface of even the most unassuming individuals. Israel Keyes' suicide in his prison cell in 2012 brought an abrupt end to his confessions, leaving a legacy of unanswered questions and unresolved pain. His death, while offering a sense of closure for some, also served as a frustrating reminder of the secrets he took to the grave. The families of his victims, denied the opportunity to confront their tormentor and seek answers, were left to grapple with the lingering trauma of his crimes. The scars left by Keyes' reign of terror extend far beyond the families of his victims. His crimes cast a long shadow over the nation, eroding the sense of safety and security that many had taken for granted. The knowledge that a predator of his caliber could operate undetected for so long, leaving a trail of devastation in his wake, served as a chilling reminder of the fragility of peace in a world where monsters can hide in plain sight. Keyes' legacy is a testament to the enduring power of fear and the lasting impact of trauma. His crimes serve as a stark reminder that evil can wear a familiar face, that monsters can lurk in the shadows of even the most seemingly idyllic communities. The scars he left on the national psyche are a testament to the insidious nature of violence and the long-lasting impact of cruelty. The story of Israel Keyes is a descent into the abyss of the human psyche, a journey into the heart of darkness. His crimes serve as a stark reminder of the fragility of life, the vulnerability of communities, and the enduring power of fear. While Keyes' death brought an end to his reign of terror, the lessons learned from his case continue to resonate within law enforcement agencies and the public consciousness. Keyes' meticulous planning and his ability to evade detection for so long underscore the need for increased vigilance and improved communication between law enforcement agencies. His case highlights the importance of recognizing the warning signs of predatory behavior and the need for communities to work together to create a safer environment for all. The Keyes case serves as a chilling reminder that evil can lurk in the most unexpected places, and that vigilance is the key to preventing future tragedies. The story of Israel Keyes is a cautionary tale, a reminder that monsters do not always lurk in the shadows. Sometimes they walk among us, hiding in plain sight. His crimes, while horrifying, offer an opportunity to learn, to adapt, and to strengthen our defenses against the darkness that resides within the human heart. By studying the patterns of predators like Keyes, we can hope to prevent future tragedies and create a world where such acts of depravity are no longer possible.